She's a new legend, a picture of professionalism, a local icon. Now join us for a special presentation honoring Diane Larson, a legendary career.
Hello, I'm Diane Larson, 13 News. I'll update the latest news for you at midday and tell you what stories are developing. Join me weekdays on 13 News at noon.
Well, she didn't know it then, but that noon gig would be just the first step in a 40-year journalistic journey that made the name Diane Larson synonymous with Toledo television news. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lee Conklin. Tonight, we celebrate the contributions Diane has made to Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan as a journalist and as a member of the community. While the hairstyles, the fashion, the technology have all changed over the past 4 decades, one thing has remained constant: Diane's commitment to you, our viewers. To tell the story of Diane Larson is to tell the story of 13 ABC and Christmas. You see, for the Story television station, Christmas came a day late in 1984. December 26th of that year, Diane would begin her Hall of Fame run here on Dorr Street, a career closing in on 4 decades.
And it should help your young student run to the school bus with enthusiasm when that time comes. Diane Larson, 13 News.
Diane had come to WTVG from what was then WDHO-TV, Channel 24, where she got her start, anchoring the news while going to college at the same time at Bowling Green State University. Longtime sportscaster Jim Tishy.
I'll tell you what, sometimes you're just lucky because you cross paths with someone who's really talented, really special, and really a great person. And that was the case with working with Diane. She was truly a great individual.
Tishy, or Tish, was one of the first prominent names in Toledo broadcasting who would work alongside Diane. Many others were still to come.
News at noon with Diane Larson and Gordon Ward.
Diane anchored the noon news with the legendary Gordon Ward. And there was this fella named Jerry.
News too. And 13's Diane Larson is here with more on that. Diane?
Well, Jerry, the good news...
For several years, Diane and Jerry Anderson were at the helm of the 6 and the 11 o'clock news.
Next week.
Okay, Diane, thank you very much.
And there was our longtime colleague and good friend, Susan Ross Wells, too.
Diane was a great mentor for me. I learned so much from her. Watching her, the consummate professional.
Throughout all the years and all the time on the anchor desk, the reporter in Diane has been on display. Her skill set paving the way for assignments that included a journey to China in 1988.
Ni hao, hello in Chinese. What you're about to witness is indeed an odyssey.
Ahead of the visit of a pair of rare pandas at the Toledo Zoo.
Our China Odyssey has now come full circle, but the odyssey for these furry creatures isn't over yet. As of now, Lula and Nana will be heading back to their homeland in August.
There was a moving trip to Israel with the Toledo Rockets women's basketball team.
Shalom from Jerusalem.
And back in this country, one of Diane's favorite assignments, live from Hollywood at the Oscars.
What do you think of this experience? It's fantastic. It's extraordinary. I've never been to anything like it in my life.
There were interviews with celebrities who would become great friends.
Here's a guy you might know from Toledo.
Here?
Yeah, here's a guy. Yep, that's him. That's the guy from Toledo.
And there were presidents.
Outside the University of Toledo, the student union where Governor Bill Clinton has just finished his speech.
Over the years, Diane has been front and center, moderating mayoral, Senate, congressional, and gubernatorial debates, one of which was broadcast across the country.
Everyone, and welcome to the only Toledo debate between the 2 men running for U.S. Senate from the state of Ohio, Republican incumbent Senator Mike DeWine and Democrat Sherrod Brown.
To put Diane's career in perspective is to take a snapshot of Toledo's political past.
Diane, that you have the talent and the internal drive that has taken you to where we are this day.
From Donna Owens to Cardi Finkbeiner to Wade Kapsakavich and 5 mayors in between, it's been a 4-decade constant in our newsroom as we've watched and worked alongside our leader, a mentor, a pillar of journalism and the truth. And the accolades have come along the way, a wave of Emmys and Associated Press Awards. In 2007, Diane became at the time just the 2nd woman to be inducted into the Ohio Broadcasters Hall of Fame. And covering news in our city and beyond has just been a part of it.
Love Machine, tell folks what to do and what number to call.
Get off your keister and make a donation by calling 419-537 0, 1, 2, 3.
A fixture as a co-host on the Jerry Lewis MDA Telethon, Diane helped raise millions of dollars to help Jerry's kids. She was a champion for the Adopt America Network, a prominent figure in the effort to raise funding for juvenile diabetes research. MC and face of the milestones, honoring female leaders for their contributions to our region. And,
right? So what do you think? For us.
Yeah, it is. Diane joining all of us from the beginning for our Hope for the Holidays campaign. All of this while being a devoted and loving mother to Drew. And I'd be incredibly remiss if I didn't mention what happened a quarter of a century ago, when the powers that be here at 13 ABC believed that Diane and I could do this together.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Diane Larson.
And I'm Lee Conklin. The storms
for 25 years, through thousands of newscasts, bringing you the stories that inspired us, the stories that made us laugh, and the stories that broke our hearts. What a ride it's been. My honor to sit beside, to broadcast, to learn, to admire the broadcaster and the journalist, and better yet, the person who is Diane Larson. I know she's ready to enjoy the next ride. Diane, thank you. We're here in the newsroom, which has changed significantly over the years, over the 40 years Diane's been here, and this office has been a fixture for most of them. And many a reporter has stopped by to ask for advice, talk about a story, or share a few laughs.
When I was first starting out as a reporter, I was in Diane's office, worried about a conflict that I had with someone. She told me not to worry about it. In fact, she said, "You're not here to make friends, but if you do along the way, consider yourself lucky." I've taken that with me over the past nearly 2 decades. And Diane, from those sessions in your office about a quick work vent to issues and learning how to grow as a mom in this business, I want to say thank you for being a mentor, and thank you for being a friend.
Working with Diane, being around Diane is like being on an amusement park ride. There are twists and turns around every corner. She's always doing something to catch you off guard, always something funny. She's hilarious, by the way. But at the end of it all, you're safe because she's got your back.
More memories straight ahead. But first, even the most professional of us can get a little tongue-tied and need a do-over.
I'm Diane Larson.
And I'm Lee Conklin. All right, we all want to know, is Cardi running for mayor or not?
Well, funny you asked that, Lee, because I just sat down with Cardi Finkbeiner, his wife, Amy, to talk about the...
This is what Action News means.
It means getting involved in the community and making a difference.
It means focusing on community improvements.
It means taking you to the center of the action, wherever news is happening.
Morning after morning.
Day after day.
Night after night.
Team coverage that goes the extra mile. We are 13 Action News.
13 Action News. Better people, more news.
Diane Larson and Lee Conklin, unequaled experience. Part of an outstanding team of journalists bringing you stories that impact you and your family.
EMTs and paramedics work all hours in all kinds of conditions.
Asking tough questions, uncovering stories you need, giving you in-depth coverage of breaking news.
Strong and severe thunderstorms pounded most of the area.
Behind the anchor desk, in the newsroom, or in the field, Diane Larson, Lee Conklin, and the 13 Action News team are there when you need us.
It's the story of Earl Bruce and what his firing is doing to Ohio State University and the city of Columbus.
And that lights out moment putting Diane Larson in the national spotlight as a clip featured on TV's Bloopers and Practical Jokes. And one thing you could say about Diane is that she loves to laugh, even at herself. And no one knows that better than some of the people who shared the anchor desk with her over the years. Among them, a couple of very familiar faces you, the viewers, welcomed into your homes for decades. Rob Powers, longtime sports director and anchor, and the incomparable Susan Ross Wells. I recently caught up with Susan about her memories of Diane. The first encounter coming when Susan came into town to start working here.
13 was on the air with election coverage, and I just remember watching that night. Bill Clinton got elected that night, but Diane was on the air, and I just remember thinking, oh, these are all my new co-workers that I haven't even met yet. So that was my very first time that I laid eyes on Diane and saw her work.
And you watched her work. You worked with her.
I'm grateful to have had her sort of to watch, you know, and emulate, I hope. But it does strike me that, you know, there are folks who have success that Diane has had. and enjoy being in the spotlight or the center of attention. Not that Diane doesn't excel in that space, she does. It's just that it's not about that for her. It's about the news and the craft and the profession.
The truth.
The truth.
Yeah.
Journalism. You know, let's talk about that for a minute, what it means to be a journalist. And from day one, that is what I will remember about Diane when I think back on her career, is the consummate professional and journalist. It wasn't about the fame, it was about the work, and her decades of work, you know, speak to that.
So what can you tell the public about Diane Larson that maybe they don't know?
Amazing sense of humor, one of the funniest people that I've ever met, and I just don't know that people know that
And that's
when you see
I
her
share
on
that
air.
as well. They have no idea.
I mean, just the quickest wit that I think I've ever experienced, and just hysterical.
If you had a message for her, what would it be?
I would say to Diane, thank you for showing me the way and for being the consummate professional and journalist. This market is so lucky to have had a person like Diane in that chair and in her role in this newsroom all these years. This is an outstanding news organization, and she's a big part of that, as are you. And she can look back on this career and know that she nailed it. She knocked it out of the park. So I just say, go live your best life.
And another person who entertained and informed viewers, be it on the sports or anchor desk, Rob Powers. Rob made the trip back to town to share some words about Diane, a woman he says was the queen from day one.
If you went anywhere with Diane and you walked in the room, you knew automatically you were with the most dynamic, the most elegant, the smartest, and the funniest person in the room. She was a light, and people just were drawn to her. So it kind of took the pressure off those of us who weren't at that level, because she just held court. And it was wonderful to see as a broadcaster coming in, seeing how she just had it. And I knew it from day one. There were nights she would come back in the sports office and we would joke and we would laugh and our sides would hurt, and then she would turn around and walk out and be impeccably perfect at 11 o'clock for a newscast. It just always blew my mind.
Oh, if these walls could talk. Newsrooms are full of great stories, including some you may not see on the air. Some of Diane's co-workers are weighing in on that.
I think about Diane that I don't know if people know is that she's super supportive of women in television. She is why I got here, but then she supported every person that came through the newsroom. She wasn't competitive with women. She wanted to see me succeed and other women in the newsroom succeed. And where you say some people are, maybe, catty or whatever, she was never like that. She, to me, she climbed the ladder here in Toledo Television in broadcasting, and then she gave me the ladder.
Everyone recognizes you for solid journalism, leadership, professionalism, and integrity. But I want to talk about the Diane that many don't get to see when the cameras aren't rolling. The Diane that comforts, consoles, and guides the young women in our newsroom. The Diane that makes sure everyone has clarity and understands the company's benefits package so our young staff can plan for the future. The Diane that leaves notes if she has to clean up after you, especially if it's that doggone microwave. The Diane that spends the weekend at Home Depot because she can finish her flooring and do other home renovations herself. Diane, the avid hiker, the yogi, the tool belt diva. So many of us are smarter and better journalists because of her.
Still many more memories to come. Right now, we're throwing it back to the 80s, where Diane helped save Gordon Ward's weathercast. And if you listen carefully, you can even hear the director's voice, a voice you'll hear again when we come back.
Don't go away. I'll be right back. We're going to work right through this, Diane. We're going to, oh boy, oh my, are we in trouble here? Let's try this. We're going to go to the previous directory page. You've never done this before, have you?
No, it looks really interesting.
Yeah, okay. Hit number 2 on there for me, if you will, please. And with any luck, punch number 2, just the number on the keyboard. There. Hey, look at that. Diane knows how to work the computer.
in the race to bring you breaking news. Not all news organizations are accurate with the news they give. Don't assume that just because it's on TV, it's true.
13 ABC Action News not only works hard to be first, more importantly, we work very hard to be accurate.
We bring you the story as it unfolds. No bogus claims, no false information. Just what matters most to you.
Accurate, breaking news coverage. From 13 ABC, Action News.
It's not just reporting the details, it's about telling the story, the complete story.
Exposing fraud, holding people accountable.
Every day, you put your trust in us, and we understand just how important that is.
It guides us and drives us to bring the news that matters to you. Diane and only a select few have been at this television station for the last 40 years. Director Brian Mahalik is one of them, at the helm in the control room and in Diane's ear for thousands of newscasts.
If you can go back, tell me what you remember. Diane came over from Channel 24, right?
Did.
Young whippersnapper. And,
right, so I can't even remember what I had for dinner last night, but I remember this date vividly. December 11th, 1983, Christmas party. I was told by my production manager, Joe Castelletta, who I have a picture of. Joe was Diane's first director at 24. We go to the Christmas party, Kathy and I both are there, and in walks Diane. And it was like, wow, this is, it was so cool. Because Joe told me the whole backstory on how the anchor that was normally doing the newscast called in one day and said, I quit. And they had to get somebody out on the set, and they picked Diane. Okay, and so Joe was her first director there, and I got to be her first director here, and that was really the coolest thing. And I was nervous as all get out because I didn't want to screw it up for her.
You see every aspect of what we do, right? You see us, and some of the times it gets pretty stressful.
It can, but what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
All right?
So, I mean, take us into some, behind the scenes.
The best newscast we ever did, it was the earthquake newscast. We had a tremor, a minor tremor here in Toledo. She told the floor director, tell Mahalik, throw the script away. We're just gonna fly by the seat of our pants, and it was a blast.
Good afternoon. Apparently 10 minutes ago, an earthquake shook parts of Toledo, and Al Manis, our executive producer, is here with details.
What do you want in retirement for her? Because you and I, we're still here. So, but she's going. So what would you like? What would you
first
like to
I'd like
see
to
for
grow
her
up and
next
be
ride?
like her. Okay, so I love this whole retirement thing. I am so happy for her. I am so happy for her. And you can tell that she's happy, and you can tell that she's ready. Look, when you look in the dictionary and you look under the words class and professional, that you'll see the picture of Diane Larson there. All right, that's her.
As we said, Diane has had her pulse on politics in her more than 40-year career, taking the lead on election coverage and moderating several debates. And politicians we spoke with agree. She knows what it means to be a journalist and make a difference in our community.
On behalf of the entire region, I want to thank her for her wonderful, wonderful service in the field of broadcasting, for her dignity, for the many stories that she had to handle, some with difficulty, the many situations that she confronted in presenting the beauty of this region and the economic future and our prospects. In order to have a decent way of life for all of our people. She handled every situation with such aplomb.
Diane, congratulations. I guess it's almost a third of a century in the business and years and years at Channel 13. Thank you for your steadfastness in doing this right. Wish we had more like you in the media, so thank you so much.
If you hadn't been contributing your time to so many different groups and activities, we wouldn't have the communities that we have. So I want to thank you so much for that from the bottom of my heart. And also, when Marcia found out that you were talking about that you were going to be retiring, she said, Diane and I were in class together at Bowling Green State University. And she also said this, you're a good student. So congratulations. I hope you have a great retirement.
When we come back, Diane joins me live to share her message to you. But first, the never-before-aired interview moment from 2005 as we dig into the blooper archives and the unexpected question for Diane.
Could be.
Crush of some sort.
It could be, yes. Tell
us about it. Infatuation? How are you feeling?
I'm actually...
Are you in love with her? Who are we talking about?
Diane Larson, will you marry me?
Wow.
Please.
Did you know she's married?
If she is, she'll forget about it after this. All right? Diane Larson, love you. Forget about it. 13 Action News in the house. All right?
Great.
Whoop.
It's time for the Hope for the Holidays toy drive.
An opportunity for our community to come together for the greater good.
Join 13ABC, the Salvation Army, and Toys for Tots and donate a new unwrapped toy.
With your help, we can go from this to this.
Help make the holidays bright for local children in need.
You know, we have a lot to be thankful for, and for each of us, the holiday season has its own special meaning. For me, I'm thankful to be spending the holidays with my daughter Drew and my family and my friends. The holidays are a very special time for sharing, and one of the best gifts we can give each other is the gifts of ourselves, because sometimes a gift from the heart is the very best gift to give. From my family to yours, happy holidays.
From our family to yours.
Happy holidays from 13ABC.
Happy holidays from Drew.
All right, that may be your best Christmas greeting ever, right?
Oh, yes, she was so little. She's here now, and she's 30, which is bizarre because I'm just barely 30 myself.
No, of course, of course. Right. Of course. She surprised you tonight.
She did surprise me. I didn't think she was going to come. She lives out of state, and I thought she was just going to come up for Thanksgiving. It was just a wonderful surprise. There have been so many wonderful surprises today.
The plaudits have been coming throughout the day,
Diane. It's been amazing. Amazing.
So many saying that you're a role model for them. Who are your role models coming up?
When I started, it was Barbara Walters and Jane Pauley, and there weren't a lot of women on television when I started back in the day. We didn't wear pantsuits back then, and we worked with typewriters and telephones that you had to dial.
Real typewriters?
Real typewriters.
Carbon paper?
Carbon paper. Yeah, and so I really admired them, and I got to meet both of them, actually, in the course of my career.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah?
Because we have Barbara Walters, a clip of you asking one of your idols a question.
What part of your job is the most fascinating for you? Because you do wear many hats. Is it the specials? Is it the 10 most fascinating people 2020?
You know what I like to do most? I love to edit.
A probing question, and she loves to edit.
Edit.
She did love to edit, yes.
Yeah.
So what's the most fascinating part of your, or what has been the most fascinating part of your job, Diane?
I have had the opportunity to go to a number of places. I went to China when the pandas came to Toledo back in '88. I had that opportunity to do that. Shane Jerome, who is our assignment manager, and I should have mentioned her because that woman keeps all the balls up in the air. She's herding kittens all day long. She's the one who makes sure that we cover the city as well as we do. But she was a photographer back in the day, and she and I went to the Oscars, and we had a blast there, and I interviewed all those stars. And I got to go to China, as I just said, and then I got to go to Israel. I interviewed Barack Obama. I had dinner at the White House with President Trump, and of course the best part of my day always was coming in and working with you. It really was the best part of my day. I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here. It really was the best part of my day.
Right back at you. Yeah. Right back at you. We also have some words from somebody who was here over 20 years ago. He's back now. He's the boss. He's our general manager, Brad Moser.
Oh, yeah.
I've known Diane for almost 30 years now, and I wish I had a funny story or something I could tell because she's got such a great sense of humor. What I really remember the most about working with Diane is that it always made me want to bring my A game and really, really do my best because she always brought hers. She was always focused on the journalism and serving the community, and she led by example, and she really made us all a little bit better at what we do because of how she operated and how she worked. And we're going to miss her, but we're really excited for her. This is a well-deserved retirement. And we really appreciate all you did for the station, for the community. Just thank you. Thank you, Diane.
party continues upstairs as we speak. Really hard to put into words what someone means to you. But Diane, your coworkers have specifically the words that come to mind when they hear the name Diane Larson.
Diane Larson is a force. She's confident and she's driven.
Smart, excellence, and motherly.
Pillar of the community. Classy, witty, professional, trustworthy.
She's a voice for the people.
Inspirational, witty, kind.
I would say traveler, hiker, and photographer.
Professional, beautiful, icon.
Smart, classy, and oh so funny.
Simply professional.
Powerhouse, gracious, clever.
Friend, smart, and laser.
Welcoming, adept, and decisive.
Icon, legend, mentor.
She's funny, professional. She is the standard.
Professional, knowledgeable, and insightful.
Classy, assertive, and trustworthy.
She's amazing. She's got such a bright personality and just an incredible human being.
She's an example, humble, and kind. The very best.
Role model, phenomenal, inspiring.
Compassionate, brilliant, leader.
Perfect package.
Mentor, trailblazer.
Queen, news mom, legendary.
Smart, smarter, smartest.
Clever, joyful, and no nonsense.
Role model, legend, GOAT, greatest of all time. A lectern is not a podium.
Glass City icon. Class act, homie.
Carol Burnett. Because both are hilarious, class acts, and American treasures.
Our executive producer, Kristen Fofford, who's producing the show right now. And let's listen to the state's top elected official right now, Diane.
You're a real pro. Your fellow journalists know it with all the awards that you've won. Your colleagues know it, working with you every single day. Most important, Toledo viewers know it by watching you on 13 ABC for nearly 40 years. I even remember that you moderated a debate that I participated in running for the United States Senate a few years ago. Thank you for your professionalism. Ohio truly is the heart of it all, and that includes servant leaders like you. Fran, I wish you all the best as you write the next chapter of your story.
Pretty nice, huh?
That is really...
You okay?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. And, you know, we do have something, though, that's pretty far out right now. Let's take a look at that.
Hello, Diane. This is Jamie Farr in California. And my wife, Joy, and I want to wish you congratulations on your retirement from Channel 13, WTVG, and the newscasting you've been doing for 40 years. My gracious, what a talent you are. What a track record you have. And I know you're going to be missing doing that with Lee Conklin, your buddy. And you know something? A friend of mine just recently, he was in show business for 40 years. He just retired. He said, you know what my greatest treasure is in my retirement? I said, no, what is it? He said, my memories, because those you have all of your life. So dear, dear, dear Diane, your treasure chest is just filled with all of those wonderful, wonderful memories. And I hope one of them has been our friendship that we've had over the years. So my wife, Joy, and I, again, send you our love, best wishes. Stay well, stay healthy, and stay in touch. For you.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's so great. Do you know Jamie like I know Jamie?
I guess not as well as you know Jamie, but I feel
Mayor Wade Capsicum.
I feel as though I know you, and all Toledoans feel as though we know you because you've been with us, our whole lives. And here at the studio today, your colleagues, past and present, have been waiting for you to break down, waiting for you to tear up a little bit, cry. She hasn't done it, a professional journalist to the end.
We got her a little bit here at the end.
Well, but here's my point. She may not cry today. We are going to cry.
Oh, it's already happened.
Toledo is shedding
we have 15
a tear
seconds,
as
Mayor.
we say goodbye, but want to recognize you with this proclamation, recognizing you for years of service to our community. Congratulations.
Mayor, thank you so much. And thanks to everybody for everything all these years. I love you all.